Check it out. Yeah. Well, I guess we'll come in with that. Yeah.
Yo.
So welcome back. Secret House Against, Tokyo-based hip-hop art and culture conversations. This is Odd Cypher Divine, our little update videos that we try to put out every week. I guess it's kind of like a podcast format style, just to let people know what's going down. We've got our brother, you know, me and Jet. We've got our brother Deza here today, and it looks like perhaps he will be a more reoccurring character on the show, maybe twice a month. We're going to shoot for. So
Secret House Pantheon.
Yeah, get used to it a little bit. And
just happy to be here. So hi guys.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, man. I like to have an extra perspective, and it's important to because so much of our conversations are based upon not so much reviewing an album and describing the sonic qualities of it or everything like that. A lot of it is like discussions about what you think about the art, where it sits like historically, or you know, just a variety of things within styles and all that. And so to have another perspective is always interesting and always dope. Of course, you guys know we started with El Spade, but he hasn't been in Japan for quite a while now. So 3 is for me always the magic number. And welcome back. Thanks for clocking in. Shout out to our new Patreons, Extraordinary Rap Podcast, rocking with us. One of the best hip hop podcasts out, especially they particularly focus on some of the underground, independent, avant-garde, abstract type of artists who are not necessarily getting the shine, but fucking unique, dope stylers, putting out some really radical art, avant-garde shit, some really dope stuff. And so definitely clock into them more often, or as often as you can. Link in the bio. We've got them in the thing. We've been throwing them up and putting that down with some of our other people that we also rock with.
Yeah, I feel like last time I gave a shout out to Tam Vosper, but I forgot the name, and I was just like, shouts out to the new Patreon. So big up.
I'm not really tech savvy on the Patreon stuff, so like sometimes I'll get an email and then I'll be using another email account and it will just like kind of disappear. But I just noticed that the other day. So shout out to Rap Music Plug Podcast, all the people we rock with, No Name Book Club,
Culture
Sonic Cloth.
Press, Sonic Cloth taking a little hiatus from podcasting for a while, but we'll organize like a little collab. You'll hear Jamil on the show at some point, I imagine.
I know things in his circle have been a bit hectic, as they are for a lot of people, and so taking a break is good for your mental health and keep the sharp things sharp, But also like just one of the illest podcasts out that does deep dives about music from somebody that really cares, and also it's particularly dope that he's a leftist. So word life. Check out Jamil. Check out the Sonic Cloth Podcast. Did I miss anybody? Caltrops Press.
No Name Book Club. Everybody, you know. Oh, my bad. I got my phone and shit on there.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Thank you for new Patrons. Thank you for all you guys' continued support. I was super happy that a couple people clocked into the Joshua Virtue review and said that they put some money down for that, because it seems as though the Joshua Virtue would benefit from getting a little loot to help his mom out. Shout out to Joshua Virtue for reaching out to us and say he noticed the discussion and thanking us. So yeah, we always like when an artist comes across it and feels seen, or Teller Banks also.
Teller Banks, Sleep Sinatra. The whole a lot of love from a lot of people. Ed Glorious showed some love.
True that. Yeah,
a lot of really ill people in the comments as always.
We would do a lot better, perhaps to some metric, if we were to tag people in our shit, or when we share it on Instagram we tag them, but we never do it to get their attention.
It's kind of nice that they just kind of stumble upon it somehow,
Often we hear friends of friends put people on. Cavalier gave some love to somebody in the comments saying this friend of mine put me onto the Secret House review. We're getting love from dope players. Usually, the what we have to say ends up finding the artist somehow anyway.
Yeah. So. That's how it usually goes.
So to me, it's a real special thing, considering just the sheer volume of people who are discussing rap music type of shit. For No Name to stumble across us is like a wild thing to me, especially at the time we hadn't even
500 subs maybe. Yeah.
So, but that's always wonderful. Thank you guys for clocking in. Please comment, like, subscribe, do all those type of things, because we're not particularly good at finessing the algorithm or even reminding people to do that shit all the time.
Even if we wanted to.
Smash that
even
button.
If we wanted to. Yeah. Smash the like.
Isn't she coming to Japan soon?
This month.
Oh,
like
Fuji Rock.
A week or two.
Yeah. I was looking at those tickets for the Fuji Rock. Even the single day is like,
It's not cheap.
Yeah.
And that's not even including the cost of actually getting out there.
Yeah.
True,
Like
indeed.
it costs a lot of money. Where's the Naiba ski resort?
Yeah.
Like getting all the way out there and then accommodation. You know, unless you want to go pitch a tent somewhere.
Yeah.
Just not
In this weather too.
in this weather.
I think for all 3 days it's like 60,000 yen or some shit like that.
Something
Yeah.
like that,
So,
yeah.
Money alone.
maybe less, but
Yeah.
still, it's a festival, so you know how they've got
Yeah.
to pay their folks and also all the other things. And
A lot of
I just
people were
don't get to
complaining
it.
about that lineup, saying that it wasn't very impressive. But like, honestly, I felt
Saturday
like
looked dope.
it looked fucking ill to me. It was
Yeah.
just like there weren't really any massive names on there. Like, you know, they had Noel Gallagher, just Noel Gallagher, like headlining. You know, it wasn't like an Oasis headline or whatever. I think Kraftwerk was also headlining. But it wasn't like any like absolutely massive names on there. You know, they didn't have like a Taylor Swift or a Kanye West or.
Dog, if they had a Taylor Swift, this city was shut down. Damn.
I mean, she was here like a few months ago.
Didn't she sell out like Saitama Super Arena or Tokyo Dome or some shit?
multiple nights. Yeah, I'm sure.
Wow, I thought it was gonna be more like the UK where the hotels are just booked in advance. By
Yeah,
people
yeah,
and
everything
stuff, yeah.
sells out. Yeah.
Yeah. The entire like festival industry is a weird thing. I remember like when it wasn't that. I remember like even when raves were kind of just like the people that went to raves were like subculture people who were at raves and shit. So, but yeah, I went to Coachella maybe like 2005.
Yeah.
And yeah, now I would just never even think about going to that. Or, you know, I wanted to go to Burning Man when I was a kid, and now I'm just like, yeah,
What,
why
you
would
don't
I
wanna
ever
wear the
fucking do
flower
that?
crown?
I just wouldn't want to be like it's.
I don't have the physical hardiness for it. Like I need a shower. I need access to a toilet whenever I need to use one. I want a comfortable bed to lie down in when I'm
Yeah.
done. Like I can't
Yeah.
I can't just tough it out for 3 days like that. Or at least I mean I could, but like I
That's
wouldn't.
what Burning Man
I
is,
would-
right? They got like no.
They're in the fucking
Yeah,
desert.
but
Yeah.
Burning Man's also like a fucking super wealthy like
Yeah.
industry type thing where it's
Yeah.
like people
They're like glamping there
they'll
and shit
set
now.
up like
Yeah.
entire like makeshift
Yeah.
like luxury condos
Bro.
like in the middle of the desert.
Nah, some of
and you
those
have
glamp
burners that stay
fucking
there for
tents
like
are
$10,000 a night or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
Some of those glamping tents are like better than the best hotels I've ever stayed in
Yeah.
Vegas and shit. I don't know. It's also just not very interesting to me to be a part of that. It is like a physical thing too. I used to be able to just sleep on a warm pile of bricks, wake up and fucking hit a backflip. But now I'm just like you know, I bent over to take out the garbage and I was like, oh shit, like
I'm feeling
Yeah.
that too,
What?
though. So
Yeah. But yeah, Jen and I were looking at each other's pictures on Thursday night, and I came across a picture of like the first year I was here in Japan. I was like, yeah, your boy was at least fit. Like, and now I'm just like, yeah, 10 years later. Well, whatever. I mean, speaking of old people doing things that young people used to do, did you guys listen to the Eminem album?
No.
nope.
Okay. I did.
I heard about
I
it from a
did.
friend.
No, it's actually the first song I was like, wow, this is pretty good. And the second song I was like, okay, this is all right. Like, and then like there's like a Mr. Garrison fucking like
Sure.
feature, I guess.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is, you know, exactly what you would expect from Eminem. A lot of it, you know, the death of Slim Shady. Slim Shady was an extremely kind of transgressive artist, especially in public space. He wasn't exactly, you know, the first to do it. You know, there's Beavis and Butthead, there's other transgressive style artists, but there's an interesting space for all that stuff. And to see him talk about it now sounds more along the lines of your like Bill Burr comedian type
Sure.
of person. And with Eminem, it's such a weird thing because it's true that his pen is like really refined, and what he does is amazing if you think about it just in terms of just like writing and how kind of vibrant and brilliant his mind is to connect, you know, these rhyming like symbols, words together. And it's dope for that if you want to like read along and be like, wow, that's an interesting throw, especially if you're a craftsman type of MC.
Yeah.
But it's like it's like a high art in terms of like rap ability, but it's also like eating at a restaurant that is like serving like beautiful steaks, but at the same time it's like one of those weird themed restaurants where like the people are
Like a-
rude to you
a
on
surf
purpose
and
and shit
turf or something like
you know
that.
what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
it's like a theme where it's like, yeah, you go here and like there's peanuts on the floor, like that
Yeah.
type of like bro sports bar type of vibe.
I mean,
Have you ever
sounds about right
Yeah.
for his fan base too.
have you ever heard about those restaurants where you go there and it'd be called like Dick's or something,
Yeah, no,
and
they're
like
rude-
everybody's
they're
like
rude to-
rude
yeah,
to you
yeah,
on
yeah.
purpose?
Yeah, I've
It's
seen
kind of like that. But I also did think that he was making some pretty poignant points about poignant points. Let's get the alliteration game on.
Hey.
No, like I thought he was making some pretty poignant points about the things that he was discussing, and I think it was fine. It was nothing exactly like that you want to write home for, but if you're like a person who's into Jordan Peterson and you're just like, yeah, simple shit makes sense to me. Like, yeah, I mean, yeah, it was cool. It's fine.
Tom McDonald fans go eat,
I didn't listen to it seriously, like
Sure.
sit down and be like, oh, okay, those are deep. But I put it on and I listened and I was like, okay, some of these sound like early Eminem, and I think that what he set out to achieve with the record, I think he's probably wildly successful in that, and I can see why a lot of people would say that this is a good album. It's just not for me because I don't go to those type of restaurants.
I don't know. It's never been for me.
Yeah.
I listened to one of his albums. What was it? The one of him walking down the road.
Oh, Recovery.
Yeah, Recovery.
I think that's the
Like
one that
seen
they
as
say
like the one
that's
that's
the
like his
worst
worst one.
Yeah.
It's like the one with Not Afraid and stuff like that on it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
In high school, but
I've listened to every single Eminem album at least once, and I've never loved one of them. And I'm talking about I'm a person who was in high school when Slim Shady dropped,
Yeah.
and I was a person who was he was tangentially related to the underground at the time, rocking with the Outsiders, doing battle raps, Juice, and I know he was like, Dose battled him and shit like that, and so like we knew about him, but also used to hear like stories about like, oh, like he's bringing writtens to the freestyle battles, and Juice was doing that type of well, I think Juice and a couple other cats were doing that too, but for a lot of the craftsmen like a Micah 9 or a Dose, is like that's a big no, that's cheating, and we're against that. And so that whole keep it real time, I immediately like pivoted and was like, yeah, I don't really care for Eminem. And it was like an ideological thing, but it was also just like, wow, like bro is really on some transgressive shit that I just don't find all that interesting. Yeah, so yeah, I would never. But yeah, I also like I dislike his fan base more than I dislike him.
I was about to say like his fan base is probably the top 10 most annoying fan bases out there. But yeah,
I mean
that happens for a lot of people though. Their fan bases kind of ruin it. So
yeah. I dislike fandom in so many ways. I think I've probably gone over this so many times on the pod,
we've talked about this.
But like for the art that he's trying to make, I'm like, okay, go off. But not everything is for me, and I definitely won't be going back to that one. Maybe a song or two. JID fucking slides on his track on. JID is fucking.
I think if anyone would like be going toe to toe with Eminem, it would probably be Jid. I think he goes by both, but
JID.
Eminem fans would like Jid just because his rap style is.
There's a few.
That Jid album
Jid is
from
dope.
last year or the year before was like phenomenal.
Yeah, it was.
2 years.
Yeah,
2 years ago now.
Yeah,
it was 2 years.
Yeah, the Forever Story.
22.
Yeah. I mean, he's great. I've liked him since I've heard him and Earth Gang. They're writing. They're writers. And that's dope. But there's a lot of cats in kind of in hip hop that are of the highest level of like writing that should be studied just like as literary devices are used. Eminem, Lupe, Black Thought, fucking
A$AP.
So many A$AP Rock, and not all of it is for me.
Yeah,
But
that's fair.
Word. So yeah, don't listen to. No, okay. I kind of felt
all that. You're like, don't listen to Eminem.
Don't ever listen to Eminem ever again in your fucking life. No. I
We'll
don't know.
know.
But that does remind me. I sent it to Jed actually like a week ago.
Yeah.
Some Eminem fan was like commenting on. I was like, oh man, whatever. It was such a funny like comment from his fan. It was just like Eminem's literary themes and his prose are unbeatable. Any rapper in the game would quiver in fear if they saw him. Like that kind of feeling.
I think I mentioned on Secret House before, maybe a few weeks ago, that my YouTube Shorts algorithm just keeps giving me like clips of black people talking about how scary or dope Eminem is, and they all have like 100 million views, and it's just like Mike Tyson being like, and then this white boy walked in. He scared me. He scared me. I looked in his eyes. I was like, that's the same eyes I see in Evander Holyfield's eyes. That's the look at him. He's an animal.
He was wearing a baby blue do-rag.
I don't know. I the thing with fan bases and shit, right? Like there's a particular aspect about like hip hop fandom that doesn't value, your mumble rap type of things and those forms of expression, even when they're like less eloquent. Like when they're like, they make it seem as though the highest tier of rap must have this level of complexity. And then if you don't adhere to that ethics or that kind of idea, then you simply don't understand it.
I think part of it is also it's just a dog whistle, you know, because you see these with certain rappers like Eminem, Tom McDonald, where they're like, these guys are bringing back real rap, none of that mumble rap, and it feels like they're saying, oh, these blacks, man, they can't even come up with something so amazing.
There's always
like
a
this,
racialized
element
to it.
Like,
That was a big thing back in even before mumble rap. It was
Gangsta shit.
They didn't like, you know, a lot of the Bay Area shit. They didn't like Hot Boys or No Limit, and I was a part of that kind of idea too. Not from a kind of different space, but you started to see fans, not people who are active participants in any of these cultures, even just tangentially being black in the South and connecting with, you know, fucking Ghetto Boys or Hot Boys. Just you would see it from fandom that started to develop these ideas about what was and what wasn't high art in hip hop, and it changes and it becomes different things. Like musicality became like a thing. It was like, wow, you know, if they're incorporating like live instruments, that's a higher tier of the presentation of hip hop because it doesn't just steal samples or all of these things.
Samples, that's a big one. You're not a musician if you have sampled music, whatever.
And if you tell somebody who's like, yeah, I like A$AP Rock, okay, you know, I think he's pretty cool or whatever, they often will make it seem like you're not smart enough to get it. And if you were smarter, you might get it. Or you know what I mean? And they also pat themselves on the back for being smart enough to understand some Lupe double entendres, you know, like, oh, he said Farrah Fawcett, but he's talking about what, you know, like, I was like, all right, bro. But you know, it is kind of, it can often appear as like a weird dog whistle. And that's why, you know, I'm listening to the new Decca shit, the new Decca song. I'm like, this is great. I didn't like his last album. But if you look at the people in the comments on our last album, they made it seem like we didn't know how to listen to fucking music. And I was like, well, what all right. I mean, that's fair. Like, it's opinions, you know what I mean? But
so they didn't like your review last time.
Yeah, I mean, we were just criticizing some of the more neoliberal elements of the record, and people were just like, Decca is the greatest prophet of our time, and you just don't have the intellect to understand the nature of what he... And he was just like, politicians are lying to you, and it's just like,
it was very like liberal, because the thing is that like he made a political album. It's about like, you know, politics and shit, right? Even though it's not like a thesis on politics, but when I listen to it, I'm like, oh, this is just filled with a lot of like liberal rhetoric that you would get from any Westerner, and I don't find it particularly interesting. I don't think there's a real politic behind it. It's just a lot of like signaling that he's paying attention, diagnosing the same problems that your fucking CNN mom does or your Fox News dad does. And I'm just like, all right, man, spirituality, government, conspiracy, liberalism. Okay, I look for something more when I'm hearing somebody discuss politics, and they beat our ass over that shit.
Yeah,
they assaulted us to the point where I almost wanted to take down the review, because I started to feel like I don't want to be one of the lone voices out there that's shitting on an artist, because people keep on thinking we're just shitting on it. They're not listening to us say it's good, but I just don't feel this.
Critical thinking is not so, you know, common as well nowadays. You know, people will just see one thing and just see it as black and white instead of it being, you know, shades of gray or you know, places where there's nuance, you know.
Yeah. You don't want me to bomb about that. Like, postmodernism is the...
Oh, God, now you've done it.
Yeah, well, you know, it's like, it is the logic of late stage capitalism. And what comes with that is your kind of deconstructionist, post-structuralist type of critiques, where up can be down, left can be right, and there's not really any historical or material analysis used to those things. There's not a dialectics that comes to that shit. There's a duality, a good and bad. And often people, when they're putting these things in either one of those categories, it gets ideologically incoherent as fuck. And this conversation like applies to every single type of conversation that we see emerging in just the world, because people don't know how to think outside of that, because they don't realize that that's a box that is a part of the ideology, the ideological superstructure that they function in. And so like, while we're trying to decide what's good and what's bad in our geopolitics, we don't have a historical analysis of it. We have like a moral analysis of it, or we have like a colonization from our timeline telling us how to perceive these things. And we have like these signals, whether there be like virtue signaling for this or virtue signaling for that. And I don't mean that term in a like the reactionary right wing way, but I mean like showing that you are showing solidarity based upon the kind of social need to express you are on the right side of history.
Right. It's
And when it comes to like liking art, people think like, oh, art is subjective. It's like your appreciation of art is subjective, but art also functions as a material thing in the world that is a product of the relationships to its production and the system which it's being produced in. And so there are more objective critiques about these things, or ways to critique these things that attach it to something that is not as what is the word I'm looking for, like static as like I feel good about it, I don't feel good about it.
Yeah.
So my opinion means just as much as your
Not as
opinion
binary,
means.
yeah.
And so it's like I don't know. I'm gonna stop right there.
It's the dialectic.
Yeah. Well, I fucking bring it up all the time, and I notice especially when I'm talking to people that listen and they appreciate like our political positions. When I talk to them, it's like, oh, you don't actually know what I'm saying here because you haven't read it, but you glean something out of it.
Yeah.
And so I was just talking to like Evebot today, and I was just like explaining exactly what is dialectical materialism because they're reading Fanon. And I'm like, well, this is how you gotta, take it. And I don't like to look at people and be like, yeah, you don't know shit. But I do often look at people and be like, damn, that's liberal as fuck, and that's rough. For me to try to explain to you what's outside of that box if you don't understand what the box is. So I prefer to teach people and be kind to people and ruthless to systems. That's why I don't be cancel culturing. That's why I don't jump off the boat when you hear things about Rory. I don't want to get into that situation that happened with Rap Ferreira online recently. I've talked about it enough. If you go to our Discord, you can see a few thoughts, and I'd rather discuss it there amongst people who I feel like we can have a serious conversation, not just putting it out all willy-nilly for anybody who listens to us to try to combat a position or espouse something. But I definitely believe in taking all women, believing women and taking them in their allegations on these type of things in good faith. But I also understand that this is a complex situation that we are far outside of. We will be donating a significant portion of our Patreon to her, Mecca, in order to allow her the ability to defend herself in court as any person should. And hopefully justice comes from this, but it's a difficult situation for us too, because Rory is a homie, and I'm not taking, I take her word in good faith, but I also hope that justice can be achieved somehow, because despite the justice system being terrible, it's still better than the fucking court of public opinion. So that's all I'll say about that. Shout out, much love. Hopefully justice comes from it, and solidarity for, all victims of domestic violence, and solidarity for even people who have caught allegations that were wrong. It happened to Nelly, it happened to Gaslamp Killer, and that's why we should take things dialectically instead of in the court of... I appreciate the emphasis for it though, because it's needed to say that. Take women in good faith, take victims in good faith. And what are we 20 minutes in?
26.
Yeah. Let's what are we reviewing this week?
We are reviewing the Lupe Fiasco Samurai. We are listening to Throne, Tempest,
and Previous Industries. What is it called? Service Merchandise. I'm excited to discuss all of these albums. I also didn't make many notes about them for whatever reason. I noticed that when I have the opportunity to have like 2 weeks to listen to an album, I don't make as many notes when we have 3 days to listen to an album. And so like even today, I'm just going to be like kind of freestyle, especially the Lupe.
Yeah.
But Throne, amazing. Lupe Fiasco, amazing. Previous Industries, amazing. What are we going to do next time?
I don't know. It's a secret.
We've got, okay. I'm thinking about the revival season, Golden Age of Self-Snitching. That was recommended to us on the Discord, and I listened to like a few tracks and was like...
Which one?
It's called Revival Season. I'm not sure about those artists.
By who?
That's
the album is Golden Age of Self-Snitching.
Yeah. So I was thinking about that.
It's a hard title.
That's great. That's
great. They're quite amazing. The music is great. I was thinking maybe the No Nas joint that we discussed before. There's a Soul that there's a couple albums that came out. We'll keep you guys posted. Perhaps, maybe. Let's do some song shares.
Yeah.
I'll go first.
Yeah, hit it.
Yeah.
What you're listening to, or
yeah. Just anything.
Or if you're working on something you want to share, like.
Yeah. Nah, don't share your shit.
Des about to bust out the MP3 player.
Oh, okay, bet. Oh, okay, because you got the You got the classic phone. All right. So the song that I'm about to play right now is by an artist named Def Sound. I believe they use they them pronouns and are from Los Angeles area. They seem to have a leftist political tendency, which I quite enjoy. The lyrics are always like espousing things that I typically would agree with, and overall great at rapping, great at beats, like choosing beats, and I first came across this person, Def Sound, a few months ago because they were on a track featuring Illingsworth, friend of the show. Kind of. I mean, he comes through. But yeah, I was listening to it, and it was just so phenomenal. Also, the kind of visual component that they had with the song was absolutely amazing. And this song called Times is featuring the great Quelle Chris, rapping his ass off in Nyala, I think. He said they say it on the song, and it's pronounced correctly. But yeah, the song is called Times. It's just a single that came out, and let's go ahead and rock with it for a second.
Yeah, run it.
Let me see who did the beat, because it's a fire ass. What was it called? Lightfoot.
I was tapping in with the pain, I was rapping it to the rhythm of rain, sitting and hitting the wood on the window pane. I was doing my little thing, it was pictures before the frame. I was Frankie outside the maze.
I'm gonna jump in the different parts of the song.
All right.
What do you say? What were you gonna say?
No. I was gonna cue something up, but yeah, go for it.
No, I'm gonna jump around on it because it's like 4 minutes. I don't want to sit here for like 4 minutes and be like,
yeah.
I want you guys to like find the song, but.
Got a sweet tooth, victory, sweet taste. Nip say it's a marathon, baby, just keep pace. Channeling when I think my lines. Y'all give it up for the stage, cause it saved my life. And I know I feel a record when my face ain't dry. And I know what it's giving when I take my time. Vroom, vroom, I'm revving out a reverend, I'm decadent with these messages and services all to my gifts, Lightfoot with the assist, my everything what I give, kindness a different strength, Nyala, that's my sib.
There we go, Nyala.
We running this, not a sprint, we living this while they dreamt. There's a whole lot of songs, but we missing the music. A calling ain't a job, my boy, we get to do this. I really ain't confused with none of this shit now, I'm really focused. And I'm burning this shit down. I trust my process, ain't worried about what
Nyala?
It might be. It sounds like Def Sound. Sounds like both of them vocal layered.
Cause you don't waste no time in your life.
They're signed to Def Sound, huh?
Well, this is Def Sound. The artist's name.
Oh, I'm tripping. My bad.
And Quelle, bro.
I'm tripping.
Keeping on shit, my family's proud. Can't no one come at me now. I travel the world untouched, outside TSA patting down. Used to be outside the clubs acting up, I'm just lamping now. My crib's like a mansion now. It's rented, but shit, I'm blessed to be in this bitch anyhow. These boots done seen many miles. Some folks even told me my words the reason they live.
Quelle is amazing. Def Fame might be my album of the decade so far. I love that record.
This shit's hard to figure out. I'm hitched to the game, like I'm roadside with my finger out. It's hard to complain, we go through the same, but in different styles.
I feel like we off center in the thing. We're gonna have to adjust that. I think we're gonna have to move to this way.
I mean, you're like man spreading this table hard right now. Yeah, I got my right leg up against this bar here.
I got some space.
That's a microaggression. Manspreading. Or it could be a macroaggression depending on how long your legs are and shit. Yeah, you can switch it up now, Joe.
Oh yeah, friend of the show, Obijuan, put out this single last month called Good Book, and it's fucking ill. Been singing it all week, all month even.
It's as loud as I got it. I got to turn it up.
We don't believe we gon' make it, put his shoes on and put him in his place. Oh, you niggas so lame. We don't believe you. Yo, spit a raw, spoil the children. The day late and the dollar short for the building. Ain't from marks of the beast under your gilding. Only your true religion, bolder in the way we live.
How did I miss this?
Oh yeah.
Did it just drop?
No, it's about a month ago now.
Oh, okay, shit. I love Obi-Wan's work.
I was walking like down the stairs in the college I teach at. And I didn't think anyone was around. I'm just walking, why are you niggas so fake? And then like one of the like top like sort of supervisor managerial position type people just like appeared next to me, and I was just like
and they're like, are you talking to me, Chad? Like, yes, actually. Thank you, bitch nigga that manages me.
Older Japanese cat who like you're expected to always say good morning to or hello to in the corridor, and he'll ignore you on purpose, but if you don't say good morning, he'll like yell at your the management.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, he values those honorifics.
Yeah.
Bitch sama.
That shit would piss me the fuck off. Sorry, that shit would piss me off.
Yeah, bitch sama. No, Obijuan though in his own merit is actually phenomenal. A lot of it is a reference to some of the indigenous people, the Taino people, and it's a deeply kind of just raw artist who focuses on, you know, anti-colonialist bars, rhetoric, history, and anti-imperialist history, and
Bohemian history, like
just kind of phenomenal. There's a denseness there that is sometimes perhaps even lost on people that just enjoy the music for the aesthetic values. But for me, I get something very interesting out of it, especially this kind of sound clash, fucking ad lib type of approach that he has. That is just something that just it seems like it has been there for somebody to do the whole time, and he's the one doing it, which is amazing. Don't let that restart Jet Talk.
Oh yeah, man.
Does that happen every time?
You know how Windows do. Maybe you don't, but Windows do like to do that type of shit. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we restarted. Like, what do you want to play? Do you want to pull something up on your thingamabob? What is this?
Hit the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back.
Well, I was with Ghost Pops yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a while, so I was kicking it with him. I was showing him some songs.
Yeah.
And I showed him that song that I made with a beat that I couldn't use. Remember, I showed it to you as well. Yeah, I was listening to that, and I was like, damn, this is, after not hearing it for like a month, I was like, damn, this is kind of nice to listen to again.
Oh, okay, word. So you want to play that?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
You have it on the Discord message, I think. I sent it to you.
I don't have Discord on this.
Oh,
Jet, I'll have to do it.
Oh, word. Okay, well, it's okay then. Instead, I've been re-listening to, I guess, Stakes is High by De La Soul.
Okay.
There was a song on that I've just been listening to nonstop.
I mean, that is amazing. I don't know. Is all their work on?
Yeah, it is now.
It is now.
Yeah, they finally got it cleared. So yeah, Stakes is High.
What song?
Sunny.
Oh,
the
okay.
last song.
Sure. A jam.
Oh, Sunshine. Sorry, Sunshine. Yeah. Something about the sample.
Yeah. This is perhaps my second favorite De La album.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
What's your first?
Balloon Mindset.
Balloon Mindset.
Yeah. Now this album is phenomenal, and this is like the first time that I recognized like Dilla. I was like, oh, you know, JD. I was like, who's this? This song is amazing, and I think that's like one of my all-time favorite, maybe like top 20 beats of all time, and yeah. Also on this album, It's So Easy is such a good summer track. This is just a great album. When I started doing the Mega Late Show podcast, you know, 8 years ago, whatever amount of time, the first guest interview we had on was Maceo of De La Soul.
Maceo, huh?
Yeah, and rest in peace, Trugoy. I met him that night.
Oh, you did?
Dave, yeah, I met him that night too, and just great dudes who were really personable and just like kicked it for hours, and it was great.
Amazing.
That was a great experience for me because they are like legendary.
I might have to go run that one up. Is it still up?
Yeah, it should be up. It's like episode 2. I think the first episode is just like us talking, but it's the first guest that we had on the show.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's become to bring the pain everyone will see.
This album is such a good summer album.
They're all kind of good summer albums. Like even like the most like And the Anonymous Nobody and
that album is great.
Like,
yeah.
I mean it's beautiful, but like it's a nice like, you know, breezy summer day album.
Yeah. What is that joint with with Rock Marcy? This beat is so ill. Property of spitkicker.com. When did this album drop? 2016?
2016.
Yeah. Actually, this was around the time that we...
Oh, you met him?
Yeah.
That's really
Maybe a year after this, because I remember this was in heavy rotation for me.
Commanding crowds.
Yeah, we'll pretty much get out of here, I guess. I don't think we have anything else to say.
Bye, guys.
Instrument. Quantity. 17.
I'm waiting for the beat to drop. It's Patreons
There's a
and shit
few
on the...
long intros and stuff on this record.
Yeah. Yeah. Patreons on the screen. Patreons on the screen.
Enter.
Yo, a slow burn we all. Last long, 3-man act. Wake up your thermostat. Blind to the property line. Creative minds cross over the back. Scribble with a knife to earn that.